If you are responsible for setting prices in digital advertising, then you know how incredibly complex ad operations can get. Every quarter, there's pressure to tweak, to optimize, and to react. But today, I want to talk about subtraction. I'm going to give you three specific things that you can stop doing immediately that will simplify your processes, streamline your ad operations, and honestly make your advertisers thank you for having their lives be easier. Before we hit number one, let's address the elephant in the room. The script usually plays out the same way in almost every digital media company. The sales demand softens, the executive team then panics, and suddenly everybody looks at pricing as the only lever that can be pulled. It's asymmetric risk. The leadership team wants a quick fix, but messing with your core pricing structure can usually cause panic and chaos rather than lead to more revenue. So let's talk about the three biggest traps that you need to avoid when the pressure mounts and the replacement rules that you should use instead. Number one, do not change your prices based purely on your sell-through rates. I see far too many pricing and yield managers and monetization teams frankly scrambling to adjust their rate cards just because sell-through is tracking high or more likely tracking low. And here's the truth, there is natural variation in market demand. If your demand is down this month or this quarter, it's highly unlikely that pricing is the only problem. Maybe your sales team had a lot of recent turnover or some problems engaging with the market, or maybe there was an industry-wide macro shift that occurred. Or maybe your competitor launched some massive campaign that you've had to deal with. But when you change the underlying prices every time a sell-through rate changes, it sends ripples through your organization and out to your competitors and to your advertisers. You aren't really managing yield at this point. You're like a dog chasing its tail. You confuse your sales team and you teach your buyers to just wait out your pricing cycles for the next time a discount's going to occur. So instead, use this as your replacement rule. Use the sell-through rate as a diagnostic signal, not as a pricing trigger. If the sell-through rate drops, treat it as a cue to audit your product packaging, to talk to your sales leads to ensure that you understand what is going on, and to check the market health, but don't instinctively slash prices. If you do need to support a special promotion to help sales clear a temporary inventory glut, make sure that it is time-bound. Make sure that it is framed as an incentive and completely decoupled from the underlying value of the core product. At all costs, you need to protect the floor. All right, that's number one. Number two, when you are updating your rate cards, do not waste your time calculating cross-elasticity. For the non-economists out there, cross-elasticity is the idea that changing the price of product A in your portfolio will dramatically shift the price demand over to product B within your portfolio. It is a tremendous idea. It's elegant, and economists love to get in the weeds in this on academic papers. But outside of university lecture halls, trying to model cross-elasticity in a fast-moving digital landscape is a massive time sink that rarely drives value in a real-world situation. Digital ad portfolios are influenced by way too many external variables, by audience shifts, seasonal budgets, and performance fragmentation. So here's the replacement rule. Price each product based on the customer value, buyer alternatives, and sales clarity. Forget the academic matrix. Price each product independently. Look at their unique intrinsic value and the value that it delivers to the client. What is the client's ROI? What are their other options in the market? Is the price point crystal clear to your own sales team? If product A delivers the performance, price it at that performance and keep your portfolio process simple. Number three is going to sound a bit counterintuitive from somebody who literally goes by the name the Yield Doctor and spends most of his life talking about the strategic importance of good pricing. But here it is. Don't change the prices for your sales team unless you absolutely have to. There is operational friction cost associated with altering the product pricing. So every time that you roll out a new rate card, you have to retrain the sales reps. You have to update internal collateral. You potentially have to reconfigure your OMS. And you potentially disrupt active long-term client relationships. So if you're shifting the prices by a meager 2 or 3% for the sake of just optimizing, the operational friction will eat your marginal gains alive. So the replacement rule here is review your prices and your rate card quarterly, but only change it when the move is large enough to justify the rollout. To be absolutely clear, you should review your direct prices on a regular cadence, and a quarterly review is the sweet spot for most publishers. During that quarterly review, you're going to look at the market conditions, you're going to assess the competitive shifts, you're going to evaluate updates based on your own data and your own product portfolios, and you are going to ask yourself, is a product change genuinely warranted? And if the answer is yes, ensure that the change is significant. Don't put your sales teams and your customers through the headache of a rollout for an insignificant tweak. If you move the needle, move it significantly. And remember, this rule applies strictly to products sold by a human sales team. In practice, your programmatic floors operate under an entirely different set of rules. These floors should be evaluated, tested, and updated on a much more frequent automated cadence to ensure that they are responding to open market demand. When you stop panicking and stop sending ripples, then you stop over-engineering based on academic self and cross-elasticity models, and you stop micro-tweaking your rate cards, something beautiful happens. Your internal operations get incredibly simple. Your sales team gets focused, and your advertisers will actually thank you for providing predictable, transparent value. Because at the end of the day, good pricing is not just about constantly changing prices. It is about knowing when a price change is justified, making it clear, and giving the market a predictable sense of that value. To my friends out there in the digital media pricing and yield management community, I hope you are finding these types of breakdowns useful. If you are managing these exact trade-offs right now, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear feedback on how you're managing the balancing act between rate cards and programmatic and thinking about how to update prices. Until next time, I am James Deaker. I am the Yield Doctor.